Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to another edition of Movement Radio. I am Chip Hazard.
I'm Talon Williams.
And I'm Roger Sierra.
And it's Monday, so we're here with special guests. And we have once again from the Chattanooga Roller Derby, Thrash.
Hi, how are you guys?
Doing great. How about
Doing
you?
awesome.
Not bad for a Monday after Easter and everything. Not too bad.
Right? Looks like you got some plants, so you're getting oxygenated.
Oh yeah, I have an absurd amount of houseplants and like greenery everywhere. It's absurd. But it is what it is.
You and my wife would get along like two peas in a pod. She literally, every time we go to the store, she goes to the clearance section of plants, grabs those, and her goal is to nurse them back to life.
Yeah. Same. I just did it at Walmart today. I never go to Walmart. I went today and I was like, I got this huge plant that is trying to die, but I'm like, no, it's fine.
You're not dying on my watch.
No, absolutely not.
No.
But how do you guys feel about having CRD like every Monday for 6 weeks? When we said we would do a 6-part series, I'm like, wow, you're getting a lot of us.
We can do more.
I'm having fun. Exactly.
Yeah, we could do the whole team. Like, this has been.
There's 41 of us. That's a lot.
Then we'll do 41 interviews.
It's a year-long profile. That's fine.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We definitely have been having a blast getting to know each and every one of you individually. And I think it's just amazing, like, how different each of you are, but with such a common goal.
Yeah, definitely very different. I was cracking up so hard today while I was watching Heinz's interview because I knew. So I'll give some feedback. Like, I am the one that has been like setting up who is going to do everything, because for CRD I do head PR. So I do the public relations and the private relations. And so part of the public relations, is getting news media things out. This is a very busy month for us. We'll be all over the news. Hopefully everybody will see us everywhere. But setting up these podcasts. And Heinz the other day, I was like, hey, she's from Nashville and we have to do what's called quarterly events, where you have to do a certain amount of events within a quarter.
Okay.
And I'm like, hey, would you be interested in doing a podcast? And immediately I'm like, why did I not think to ask her like week 2? Because she can talk about anything and go crazy off tangents. And she's so like of a loud personality and so funny that I really was like, I was cracking up at her whole interview today while I was like prepping for today. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to listen to hers while I'm at the gym. And I was just like, she's one of my favorite people on the team for sure. So, and that proved even why.
It was a very interesting interview. It was fun to do. It really was.
Yes, she has a lot of charisma.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But jumping into this story, for the people who don't know who Thrash is, who is Thrash?
I have such a weirder path, and not weirder path, but kind of. So like even as a kid, I didn't play a ton of sports, but I was a cheerleader for like 8 years.
That's a sport.
Yeah, for sure. But do you think cheering and derby go hand in hand? Like, but I cheered for a long time and went to college and met my husband, who inevitably will probably step in the background asking me a question because he has no, boundaries on that. But so I've been married to him for a long time, and I started doing aerial silks. So like the fabric that hangs down and you do like tricks within that. And I did that when we were living in Nashville for quite a long time, like 6 years. I performed, I had like a little group and everything, and decided to go back to school to be a school counselor because I guess I had always worked in the mental health field, but I decided that I didn't want to do that for a very long time because it was burnout. And so I went back to be a school counselor, and I moved to Chattanooga, and right after I moved to Chattanooga, COVID hit. And so I didn't make any friends. Like there was nowhere, like, you know, you know how COVID was. And
you were isolated.
yes. And, you know, I'm doing Zooms with kids on the, you know, at home, which, by the way, school counseling was not great via Zoom, but that's fine. So yeah, I had no friends. And Tipsy McStaggers, Crystal Armstrong, she's a realtor. Her daughter had done aerial, and so we had met each other at like an event. And I saw that she posted like a derby meet and greet. And I had roller skated a lot as a kid, and kind of picked it up again during COVID. Not well. And it was like, yeah, meet and greet. I went and got a nose piercing and then went to this meet and greet. It was like, I felt like I had to do the part or something. I don't know. But I was like, I'm going to go get my nose pierced and I'm going to go see about Derby and I'm going to go make friends. And so I went to the meet and greet, got all the information, started going to practice, made the team. And so now I'm in my sophomore year of roller derby, so it's still pretty young, even though I'm getting pretty old, but still not really, but I'm in my 30s. It's a little old to be starting derby sometimes, I think, but you know, derby's for all ages. So yeah, I had this kind of past of like aerial silks, beautiful, cheerleading, cute, and now I'm like, I got a bloody nose at practice the other night. Like, very different, but you know, it's good.
Oh wow. I mean, that's a pretty interesting story. I want to get more into the silk stuff here in a minute, but I'm gonna follow Talon's question up with before roller derby, before Thrash, who was Taylor?
The person who could talk to anybody, which is why I went into counseling. I feel like even as a kid, I just like talked all the time and I just wanted to get to know everybody. I was in everybody's business. I was a competitive board game player, like a little too competitive.
Monopoly, right?
Yes, of course. And in
It's too
trivia,
easy.
I will destroy you. And like I still go play trivia at bars, you know, like I can't. But yeah, I think I was just like kind of the loud, funny friend that could talk to anybody and had a big personality. Like I can be a little much for people for sure. But yeah, and I was, you know, I've been a school counselor now for like 6 years. This is year 6. And then before that, I worked in mental health for like 4 years before. So yeah, I think I needed an outlet. I was getting a little burnout. I was a little unbalanced. You know, I did aerial for a bit, but then it just got to be too difficult out here in Chattanooga. And so, yeah, I kind of had always had a certain type of hobby. Like I rock climbed for a couple of years. My husband still rock climbs a lot. I'm a hobbyist. Like I'll pick something up for a couple of years. And I'm like all in and then buy everything that you need for it. And then, you know, I'll do it and I'll get really good at it. And then, you know, I'll pick something else up. But yeah, I don't have kids. I have 2 dogs, 2 cats. I've been with my husband for like 13 years. Like there's a dog barking for sure. You're going to hear an animal.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's fine.
You know,
you haven't heard mine yet.
Yeah. Well, and she's a beagle. So, she's a dog therapy dog too. She'll go to school with me tomorrow. She just got approved to start going to schools with me. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
That is cool.
Yeah. I'm sure the kids will be over the moon tomorrow. It'll be too much. So
yeah, you see a dog. Oh, it's a puppy. It's a dog.
Yeah, they're all going to be coming to the counseling office. They're going to be like, I need my mental health, you know, and I'll be like, okay, I'm sure.
You just want to see
It
the
has
dog.
nothing to do with the dog, right?
Yeah, absolutely nothing to do with the dog or that I have snacks. Neither one of those 2 things for sure.
You got snacks? Holy shit.
Listen, these
and a
middle
dog?
schoolers, yeah, exactly. It's a fun place to be apparently. So yeah, but other
I'm
than
gonna
that, yeah,
come
I
to
don't know.
school. I'm gonna
Yeah, I
come
know,
to school
right?
tomorrow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
please do. Yeah, that'd
Uh,
be fun.
so what got you into aerial? And I know we're gonna
No, that's
we'll
okay.
transition to roller derby, but
Yeah, I did
I
aerial for a
think
long time.
yeah, I think aerial is very interesting, and I'm sure that there are pieces of that that have helped you with roller derby in some way.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, so I was in Nashville and God, this sounds like that like a very basic answer, but I was trying to find a way to work out because I was getting married. I was like, I need to do an exercise, but I'm not a gym person. I am now, but at the gym I had no idea what I was doing. I remember I called chin ups reverse pull ups because I couldn't think of the name for it. I was like, what's a chin up? But anyways, I had taken a class with a friend and really liked it. And it was like, you do basic things like it's a basic foot wrap where you can stand up in the silk and you lean to the side, like, very, very basic. And I started to, I took a class and I was like, hey, I kind of like this. I think I want to take more. And I took classes for a while. And then actually the instructor decided that she was going to leave because she was going back to graduate school or something like that. I can't really quite remember, but they were like, well, we need an instructor and you're the person that's been going to classes the most. And
Oh
it's,
wow.
it should be more regulated than that, but it was what it was. So I became an instructor and I worked at a place that did bachelorette parties as well. And so I was kind of like the jack of all trades there. Like I would do like a Coyote Ugly line dance and then aerial silks and aerial hoop and then intro to pole fitness and then like a burlesque style dance class. So I would just on Saturday do all these classes and then during the week I would teach aerial silks and I did that on the side for like 3 or 4 years.
Oh wow.
And performed a little bit, nothing crazy, but I mean I was a paid performer. And so yeah, I did that and it was good because it was like crazy exercise and people liked watching and they always were all about like, oh, show me what all this stuff. Like I would crack up at these bachelorette parties. I would be like, oh, now you just do stuff for 2 minutes. And you're like, okay, great. Like what do you want to see? But so I did that for quite a while. And I think that it really helped me learn a lot of discipline in realizing that you're not naturally just good at things like I was pretty naturally good at a lot of things. And so that one I actually had to work at. Sorry.
You're fine. You're fine.
But yeah, so I got kind of fit, like I was hella strong. Like I could bust out. I remember at my wedding, I got into a contest with the guy to see who could do the most amount of pull-ups, so like in my wedding dress doing pull-ups in a log cabin, like as all my friends were partying. And I was like, this is pretty absurd. But it did have me like a passion for just like doing physical things. Like, hey, I can see how hard I can push my body and how far my body will go and what it's capable of. And so when I moved out to Chattanooga, I started taking classes here. There's a great studio, Inversions Chat, and Jen was she's the owner and she's great, but at the time it was very expensive. And I was like, I can't afford this because I was used to, having a gym where I was going 5 to 7 hours a week, at least just training. And it's like $30 a class. And so $30 an hour, you're like, I can't quite pay for this. So yeah. So Derby kind of picks up where that part left off, where I now have like a physical thing to do to push my body. It's a demanding sport. I mean, you're really like pushing yourself more and you're pushing your boundaries all the time. Like I wasn't a great skater and I'm only in my second year. And so, as I'm trying to be better and better, I'm like pushing. So it's kind of nice to see how far your body will take you. And so,
what was it like being on the track for the very first time? Like your first time maybe in a practice or the tryouts or anything like that? Like what was that initial moment? What did you feel at that moment?
fear. Like, honestly, it was so scary. It's so scary. We got some great skaters, and one of my favorite people on the team, her name is Mage. She's got bright yellow hair. She'll be on the news later this month. But anyway, she is like a very aggressive skater. Like within like the first like few minutes, she does like a power slide stop, and she like shows like what it's going to be like to like get a hit and give a hit. And I was like, I don't actually know that I can do this. I want to think that I'm a badass, but like she looks like she could take me down, and she can. She hits so hard, So I was afraid, and it's a lot. I mean, you have to kind of go in knowing like you might get injured, and an injury is pretty likely. I ended up spraining my ankle last year in like around this time. And it was really bad. Like it's still, my ankle still is not right, by the way. I feel like as you get older, shit never heals back the way it's supposed to. You're like, what the?
No, it don't.
So I sprained my ankle, but really bad. And I was out for like 6 weeks. And just the other day, we had a visiting person from Nashville, super sweet, super nice. 10 minutes into playing, broke her ankle. Like, snap. You just have to know, like, there's a chance that you might get hurt.
Wow.
So, yeah. It's crazy.
So now she's on the shelf 6 to 8 weeks.
Oh, more. Yeah. I think she had to get surgery maybe. And then, one of the first few practices I went to, Goldie, super sweet. She's like, no, older lady. She's a grandma. She like messed up her knee. And that was like one of my first practices. And she is like, she sprained her. She had to call the ambulance. And I'm like, oh my, what am I getting myself into? Am I actually capable of doing this? But I guess so. I kept going.
Did you ever think like, okay, I'm done. I'm not coming back?
No. In fact, okay. I feel like it made me appreciate it that much more. It's maybe like a little masochistic or sadistic, I guess. But it's like, there's danger involved, but the reward is so worth it. It's so fun. The people are amazing. The community is amazing. And instead of like being afraid of what my body can't do, I'm like proud of what it can. So, and that's something I've like come to really appreciate as I've like gotten more into my 30s, where I'm like, you're only going around this world once, unless you believe in reincarnation. But I'm like, you're only going around once, so you might as well do badass shit that makes you feel like alive and fun. Yep. I'm trying to like chase the light. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
You're fine. You're fine.
I'm like, I thought the sunroom was going to be a great idea because it's the room that is the most closed off, and I'm like chasing the light now. So
I mean, we're enjoying the tour. If that makes you
just
better.
Just look at all my windows, all the green, all of the neighborhood.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
How about you guys? Do you guys do anything like that? Where you guys like sports or anything like that? I feel like it's been less talking about it.
So Talon and I are former pro wrestlers. Roger wrestled for a little bit and then transitioned to managing, and has also played rugby.
Oh, nice. I did know that from the rugby episode, actually. Yeah,
from
with Chaos. Yeah. Wow, wrestling. So that's another thing, right? Because like injuries could be pretty high, especially while you're like learning how to do a bunch of things.
Especially when your partner, injures you.
That
Does that
happened
happen?
twice.
Did you injure him?
Yeah, I injured him.
Talon injured me a couple of times.
Yeah.
Well, they're on the same team. They're on the same team.
No. We were only on the same team one time when I injured him.
I have my
Complete
orbital
accident.
socket here was fractured due to the back of his head. I'm missing a tooth because of him. Yeah. It's okay.
That's fine.
Yeah.
It's
It's fine.
fine.
It's wrestling.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
fine.
I guess so.
It happens.
That's funny. So did you guys do that in Clarksville? Or not Clarksville, in Chattanooga?
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
mostly in like the North Georgia area, Blue Ridge, Rossville, Canton, places
Yeah.
like that.
I mean, we've
I
traveled to North Carolina. We've done Alabama shows. We've done Northern Tennessee shows, Mid Tennessee, places like that. So mainly just the southeastern region, pretty much. So
We did one show in Virginia, and that was a nightmare.
God, don't bring that up again, please.
No, the bathroom story.
Well, now I'm like, why was it a nightmare? What happened?
So the trip there was the nightmare.
Yeah, it's like an 8-hour drive, right?
Yeah, not if you go an hour down a road just for it to tell you to turn around and go back the other way another hour because there was a bridge out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
That'll do it. That'll
Yeah.
ruin a trip.
Yeah,
that
it was-
one
oh,
and
God.
the Gunnersville, Alabama show that we've
Man.
done. I would have to say those are probably the two worst shows that I've ever done in 20 years of wrestling.
Yeah,
You did it for 20 years.
20 years.
That's
Yep.
such a long time.
20
Yep.
years. Well, granted, we
And
were both 15 and 18 when we started, so
Mhm,
we
mhm.
were
Like
young.
backyard wrestling, like the video game, or
No,
no, that was like
No.
legit.
No.
Yeah, like legit, like what you would see on TV is what we did just on a local level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't realize this area had like
Chattanooga is
that
one of the
going.
biggest ones in the southeast region.
Chattanooga's definitely climbed back up there on the map. TWE out in Red Bank, Tennessee is really great wrestling fandom. Now North Georgia, I mean, you got.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
say that one more time. You guys said Red Bank?
Yes.
Yeah, Red Bank, Tennessee. Yeah.
Well, that's where I'm living, so I'm like,
Okay,
You have a
so-
big local show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's right there on Dayton Boulevard.
Dayton Boulevard. Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Drop. Yeah.
I'm like-
drop. It's right there. It's close to where the Dollar General is on Dayton Boulevard. Just right over there.
Yeah.
Look at her face.
I'm like a mile away from there. Like,
There you go. See.
Well, yeah,
She's like,
you got
I've
professional
driven past
wrestling.
this. I know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look this up. Like,
Yeah.
is there shows still? Like, what?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
So they're actually doing a show tonight.
Mhm.
They do.
I
a
gotta get off
show-
of here. I gotta go.
Oh, that's fine.
I mean, that's fine.
I gotta go look at the show. I don't know.
Yeah. So they do shows every Monday for the rookies and kids that are training,
Oh.
and then every other Saturday
Saturday?
night.
Mhm.
Every other Saturday. Yeah.
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 But
Yeah,
it'd, be
they
this,
really
it'd be this week, right?
The 25th, I think.
Yeah.
Let me go look. Yeah.
Oh.
The guy who operates it, Jaden Newman, me and Chip had a hand in help training him. And he's come such a long way. He just got back from Germany about a couple of weeks ago, something like that.
Maybe a month
Couple
ago.
of weeks, about a month, maybe a month ago. Yeah. So he's been traveling. He's been doing a lot of good stuff, but Chattanooga is his home, and he takes a lot of good pride in TWE, man. And TWE was, a great show. It really is. It really is. You definitely need to check it out if you get the opportunity. Also, shout out to Jaden, man. Keep doing your thing,
That's
brother. We're proud of
crazy.
you.
That's
Yeah.
so crazy.
Yeah,
I
they
didn't
just
know
got
that.
done. They just got done filming for a series.
The Uncharted Territory series on IWTV.
I'm like, okay, so I have plans on the 25th to go.
Is it 25th or 29th?
20
Oh,
Here, I'll
It has to
double
be the
check.
29th.
Is it 29th? I'm
Saturday.
sorry. I don't know why I was saying 20.
Yeah, so
I
they
don't
should
know why I
have a
was
show
thinking
this. They should have a show this Saturday, the 15th.
20. Are you sure?
They do it every other Saturday. It'd be the 15th and 29th.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they have a
but
show
did
this Saturday, the 15th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just thought they had a show this past week. Okay, never mind.
Mm-mm.
All right, now I'm
Okay.
gonna. Oh, this won't come out till afterward.
We
Because
can do a follow up.
CRD.
We can do a follow up.
Yeah,
Well,
we
can
CRD
definitely
was
do a
going to
follow-up.
be. They're going to be at Bugapalooza on Saturday,
Oh,
and so then I
wow.
was going to be like, "All right, everybody, go to Bugapalooza, see us, and then go." But this will be on the Monday after. You better have went.
That's the way to do
and
it.
then went.
Let's
to
speak in
see
past
wrestling.
tense, hopefully.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's awesome. That's
Speak it
awesome.
into existence, right?
Exactly.
I mean, well, no, it's funny because even, like I mentioned, I do PR, and one of my teammates had said, hey, maybe we could do like a street skate at Bugapalooza. And I'm like, well, let me message them first to even make sure if like we could do that. You don't want to just show up at somebody's event and take over or
right.
whatever. And so I maybe. So I messaged the person, and his name is Nick, and he is super nice. And he immediately was like, oh yeah, we'll give you a table. Well, you can sell merch. You can sell tickets. Like my niece is on the junior team. Like we'll, help you out any way we can. I'm like, what? Like it was very like, so shout out to him for, letting us be at Bugapalooza. But in my head, I'm like, yes, people who are obsessed with bugs will probably, like Volkswagen bugs, will probably be into roller skating, right?
I thought this was like an
Okay.
insect show.
I thought it was like an
Oh my
insect
God.
show. Like,
Also, people who are into insects will know. But yeah, it's like a Volkswagen Beetle like festival convention thing. It's like
okay.
That's
Mhm.
actually pretty interesting in itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said it's
I
this
was
Saturday?
like, yeah. When you
Yeah.
said bugs, I was thinking like dragonflies
know,
and moths.
I know.
And,
Yeah, I was thinking praying mantis
butterflies.
flies
And not that
versus
those
scorpions or
aren't
something.
cool, but the cars, yeah, it's at Camp Jordan. And so that was even better because, we'll be at Camp Jordan on May
Yeah.
6th. And so
Yeah.
then we're like, oh, if we can do some promo a couple weeks ahead. And, also the same day that our bout is a bacon festival. I don't know if y'all know
What
that.
now?
What?
Where?
Mm-hmm. A
At
bacon?
a
Like
bacon
bacon?
festival? And this
Yeah.
is going to be at the Camp Jordan Arena
Mm-hmm.
the same day?
It's just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
What?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like,
So-
are you trying to make us fat?
I'm
Is
between the
that
chocolate on Heinz and,
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
mentioned
Chocolate, the
Piggly Wiggly.
beers.
I know.
I bet
you know?
yes. I'm
But
saying
yeah,
try,
there's some
try to get botulism. That's all I'm saying.
It's fine. It's fine.
no big deal.
Chocolate
But yeah,
bacon. It's fine. It'll
some
work.
sort of I don't even know the details on it, but like bacon festivals, I think they're going to be in like a different part of Camp Jordan that we're at. So, but still, they'll be there at the same time that we're there.
Yeah.
We'll smell it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right.
I'm sure everybody will leave and go get bacon and come back in between games,
Yeah.
Oof,
Right. Of course.
temptation.
Yeah. Just it'll be the best smelling bout anybody has ever been at. So
I
There you go.
guarantee it.
Yes, absolutely.
Um,
Go ahead, Chip.
I was going to say, to the conversation is amazing, but to kind of get back on
Wrangle
track
it.
just a
Yeah.
little bit. What position do you play for Chattanooga Roller Derby?
I'm a blocker.
Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, if I'm jamming, I'm complaining the whole time. And not that sometimes I don't get out. So I'm actually on the B level team. So I think so far you've talked mainly to A level players, and they're amazing. But as B level players are also where it's at. So we're called the B Railers. That's our team. And I was lucky enough to get rostered. But we also have a C level team too. And so I'm kind of a BC level player. So, I play with the B Railers, but then when we set up C level scrimmages, I also do the C level scrimmages. Again, not great. Like I kind of keep laughing at everybody's interview and they're like, well, you don't have to be great at it. I'm like, yeah, I'm the prime example of that. Like I'm out there talking to everybody. I'm just like having a good time. Like, hitting each other. It's fun, but yeah, so I'm on the B Railer team, and it's a lot going on, and I think, for me, trying to like learn the game and learn the positions and everything, blocker just felt the most natural to me. I think because like it was very easy to me to be like, I know how to, I'm a sturdy person, and pretty strong. And so I can use that to my advantage. It is kind of funny because, for being a newer skater, I did have somebody that was like, "Oh, you hit kind of hard, actually." Well, good. That's like the goal, right? Like I would like for you to think that I hit kind of hard, but I feel like actually, as you were talking to Heinz, that I've learned a lot of random things from her. And you mentioned like in, interviews, I know that you guys have asked, like, who do you guys look up to? And she's been a blocker that I have really looked at. Just because she is a smaller person, I'm 5'3". I'm a little bit more stocky than her, but still I'm her same height. And the way that she positions her body and the way she has such track awareness has really been something I've looked up to. We have a lot of great blockers, and it's been great as we'll go on, Tuesdays we do scrimmages where we play like a full game. And then on Thursdays, we'll do like drills and practices and like learning, game plays and stuff like that. And those are the things that have been the most helpful, is like, you don't know what the hell you're doing with your body. A lot of the time, you're just trying to stay upright on skates. And so like, there's a thing called Barbie arms where like you are like not really holding a person, but you are like, you're just, all of your body is like touching as much of their body as possible to keep them like encapsulated. And so it's been my favorite one to play. Pivot, it would be my second. Jamming is, and it seems like every time I jam is a 2-minute bout or a 2-minute jam where it's like going forever. And it's like, can we just call it already? I'm like dying. I'm like cussing. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I'm like, can we be done with this already? So it's fine. I think that people laugh too, because I'll make like a joke because I'm like, I'm dying. And then, people are laughing. They're like, you're doing great, Thrash. Keep it going. And I'm like, no. So,
do you have like, we've asked this question before. Do you have like any pre-game rituals, or is there something you like to listen to get your head in the right state of mind going into a meet?
I was hoping you were going to ask. And you know why? Because it cracks me up, all these people who have all these rituals. So last year, I started helping with merch. So merchandise. So like setting up the tables, selling stuff. I'm pretty good at it.
Okay.
Yeah. Like we make jokes that, at the away games, I'll sell like $400 to $600 worth of merch. And they're like, what? Like that's unheard of at an away game. So at home games, I'm working the merch table. If I'm not playing, I'm working the merch table. And so everybody's like, oh, I warm up, I skate around, I listen. And I'm like, I'm just selling as much crap as possible. Like, I don't have time. As soon as it's time for me to put gear on, I'm putting gear on and then I'm skating out. Like, I've been cracking up at all these people who are like, oh yeah, I listen to this song to get in the mode. And I'm like, no, I'm like finishing a transaction. And then I'm like, okay, I'll see you guys in a minute over there. I'm going to go put my skates on and then we're going to start. So I really cracked up. I'm like, oh no,
so no music at all for motivation or anything.
And I wish I did, because it sounds great. Everybody that talks about it, I'm like, that sounds fucking amazing. I should be doing that. Maybe I would be a better player. Maybe that's the trick.
You do listen to music though, right? I mean, you do listen to music though, right?
Oh, in general, yes.
In general, yeah. That's what I was asking.
But before the game, no, I don't.
Right.
I'm like,
all right.
I'm like eating. Maybe that's like, I'm like, I do. Actually what I do is chug a ton of water like 2 hours prior, just because I know that I'm going to be sweating, even if I'm not like playing a lot. Like last year, like I said, I was injured And so I had kind of limited playtime, which is totally fair and fine. Everybody's great. But I was like, okay, if I'm gonna play, I don't want to get a cramp. Like if I'm gonna, when I go out for a few minutes, I don't want to get messed up. So yeah, I like chug a ton of water. But yeah,
I mean, that's kind of a ritual if you think about it. I mean, it's kind of a thing you would routinely do, pretty much.
I kind of do that a lot, anyways. Like I'm a Nalgene carrier, you know.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Everybody's on the Stanley cups right now, you know, like those little. Do you know anybody with one of those? The Stanleys. Do you have one?
What, this?
Oh no! Okay.
That's a straight pitcher mug.
Oh,
Yeah. I'm like, how
It's what he
very Renaissance, you know.
It's what he drinks his grog out of.
yes.
They got a Stein.
Got that at the last convention. I got that actually at the convention that we met you guys at.
Yeah. What was that? Was it
Connuga.
Connuga.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
since then we
Connuga.
also did literary ink there.
We
And that
wanted to
was
go.
super fun.
Yeah, we wanted to go. We just didn't get our bid in soon enough. So maybe next year.
Yeah. You know, shout out to Mainline Ink. They're a sponsor. And so, you know, we were fortunate to be able to get a table there. Not that we sold a ton of stuff, but we got to, you know, see a lot of people, and watching that many people getting tattooed at once was intense. Like it was a lot. There was one piece that this guy was working on that was this whole leg. And I'm like, I like sat there and watched it for hours, 2 days. I went in 2 days, and it was a lot. I was like, holy crap, like this person's just taking it, like getting tattooed on for like 6 hours. I'm like,
do you have any tattoos?
I do. I've all of them are from when I was 18. Okay. You make the best decisions at 18.
Yeah.
So no regrets whatsoever. No regrets.
No regrets.
Oh my God. No regrets.
You know what is hilarious is I got and this is a little timestamp me. I got nautical stars tattooed on my neck.
Oh.
Why did I do that? I'm not in the Navy. I didn't do anything with I don't even like being in water, really. Like, do you have them too?
Not a nautical stars.
I got that. That's what I got. We call it redneck wedding rings. That's what that is.
Yeah.
I ended up getting it covered up a couple of years ago, thankfully, because every time I like saw it on the back of my neck, I'm like, what the was I thinking? But yeah, so now I have
cover it
like,
up with.
Half Dome. My first summer after being a school counselor, which was like, you know, that's like the best time of the year is summer, because both my husband works in the school system as well. So we enjoy summers together. We're poor, but we enjoy summers together. No, I'm joking. But the first summer we traveled out in a camper to California, and we won the lottery for, you know, only a certain amount of people can hike Half Dome or whatever. It's like 50 or something in a day. And so we happened to win the lottery to do it, but failed to realize that it's a 9-mile hike to this hike. So it ends up being like a 20+ mile hike. And we decided to do it all in one day. It was the hardest thing I've ever done.
So you mean to tell me we're going to walk somewhere just so we could walk again, pretty much?
It wasn't very well thought through. It seemed like a good idea. And you know what? I wish you could have seen my face when my husband was like, oh, we have to hike to Half Dome. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, like, how long is that? It's like 9 miles. I'm like, what? Like, and at the time I was not hiking. Like I lived in Clarksville at the time, and there's, you know, like 3 parks there. So I'm not hiking. And so I was like, okay. So anyways, I decided to get it covered up on my neck, because it was like the toughest but most rewarding hike I've ever been on ever. There was like waterfalls, and I saw like a bear and a bobcat.
Wow.
It was cool.
So what you're saying is you reenacted a scene from Lord of the Rings.
At least it wasn't the Revenant. At least I didn't get
oh my God.
That would be yeah. But yeah, it was cool. It was a really The issue is that you have to keep going up and down mountains to get to said mountain. So you're just like, okay.
Yeah, you're exhausted by the time you get there.
I cried at mile 18.
So halfway.
I like rounded the bend and I saw that it was all uphill. And I like looked at my husband and I just like, he was
Like, why are we doing this to ourselves?
yeah, it was like getting dark. And keep in mind it was cool to see all these animals during the daytime, but I'm like, it's getting dark and we're like 5 miles away. Like, are we gonna get eaten by a mountain lion? A bear? I don't know what's out here.
Cocaine
Right?
bear?
Cocaine. Dang it. If you really
Listen, have you seen that movie?
Not
you
yet.
seen that
I
movie?
want
Not
to.
yet.
haven't
I plan
either.
to. I plan to.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
told you.
I do too. I was listening to a podcast I listened to, don't judge me, is This Is Important, which is the guys from the Workaholics show. Do you remember the Workaholics show?
One of the
I'm
greatest
the
shows ever.
workaholics. Yep.
Yes. Well, their podcast is really funny. And I listened to theirs when they were talking about Cocaine Bear, and like, because I guess Elizabeth Banks is like the director producer, and they were talking about it or whatever. And I was just like, I have to watch this movie. And then it came out, and I haven't seen it. But I'm like, I need to go see it because I know it'll be great. But
Yeah, I want to
it's in theaters
see that,
anymore.
and I want to see Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Mhm.
Yes.
Have you
What?
not heard? Have
So-
you not heard of
You know,
this?
So
They-
Disney
apparently
lost
turned- Go ahead, Roger.
I would say Disney gave up their license for like the media rights to Winnie the Pooh came up, so it's free grabs. And the first person to grab it made a horror movie out of Winnie the Pooh, where Winnie the Pooh and Piglet go feral, and they go on a killing
oh my
spree.
god,
Yeah,
no, I
and-
didn't know that.
And I definitely need it in my life.
Yes, it looks
Yes.
absolutely
Horrendous.
horrendous, and I need to see it because I have heard very mixed things. Some people are like, it's like a homage to the old hack and slash kind of movies that we grew up with, and other people are like, this is the worst movie ever made. And I was like, that's saying a lot.
Yeah.
Did you guys get to see the Grinch one?
No,
Yeah, there's a Grinch horror movie
Called
too.
the.
I'm like,
called
is
the
this a
Unbeatable
whole
One.
section of horror movies that I should be looking into
Mhm.
more? Like,
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Media rights grab ones for sure.
well,
Yeah.
and I like polarizing reviews on movies too, because then I feel like I almost am like searching for something that maybe people aren't like, what is good about it versus like what's terrible. I don't know. I'm like,
I'm like that when it comes to documentaries. Like anything that's like a polarizing documentary, like I want to see like me, like we did 2 episodes about 20 controversial documentaries, and some of them are very, very interesting. Some of them kind of make you sit there and go, I don't know, maybe,
I just watched the 12 tribes one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just watched
So
2 nights ago.
I know a guy that escaped that place. Personally.
Yeah, that was
person that
like,
escaped
oh
it.
my.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't want to say anything super bad, but I don't like it. But when I first thought about moving to Chattanooga, I was going to try to go to graduate school at UTC. I ended up going to Austin P because I ended up I was a TA, so yay, they paid for it.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about going to UTC because I knew I wanted to move to Chattanooga eventually. And I ate at that restaurant. I probably shouldn't, but and I remember being like, I was with my friend. I was like, dude, this place is fucking weird. And I feel like they handed me a pamphlet or something, and I just was like, I'm never coming back. Like, what is this place? And I think I made a joke like, this feels like a cult. and
you were right.
that was like in 2013, 14.
Oh,
So I was just like, oh, this is weird. And she was like, but the food's so good. I'm like, it's not that good. I can easily go to a different place.
I don't want to end up covered with a purple blanket wearing Nikes. No, thank you. I don't want to do that,
Drinking some Kool-Aid. I don't know.
Drinking Kool-Aid. No, two separate cults, but yeah, I get the premise.
I know. Yeah.
It's fine.
One was in the 90s. It's
Yeah.
fine.
It's weird.
It's fine.
Yeah.
So that's funny. So you guys are going to be at the bout, right?
Yes.
Yes, we'll be there. Absolutely.
And so what are you like? I know that, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but, I had asked like, oh, what would you guys need? Because I don't know are you guys just attending? Are you going to do like a podcast? What are you guys gonna
whatever
do?
you let us do.
Yeah, whatever you let us do. We could do live interviews, film the
commentary, whatever you need.
Yeah, everything anything you want.
Whatever you want.
Sell popcorn.
really,
I don't
really
care.
want
We're
Yeah.
pretty open about, we're like, I think that's kind of the beauty of even Derby in itself is like, we realize like, we need the community. And so anything that we can do, we're like, hey, like, yeah, we'll do that event, or yeah, we'll show up at that, or hey, you need some players to work something, we try to do that because again, we want the community to back us when we like, I think there was kind of an initial worry of moving to Camp Jordan just because, the convention center is downtown and a lot of people like to come and then they'll go out downtown afterward. But man, Camp Jordan setup is so sweet that it's like, it was the right move for us. And also one of the things that is so small that we keep talking about is free parking.
Yeah.
Like all of our fans, they have to pay. And if they come it's an all day event, with juniors playing and then the headliner playing and then the B team playing, you're looking at being there from 3 to 9 at night, and so paying for 6 hours of parking is
It's
not
brutal.
fun.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, because it's
I'm-
on a Saturday. So
Yeah, I work downtown, so like I hate that parking situation
I
so
hate it too.
much.
yeah.
I hate it too. When I used to work downtown, I is like, oh, Lee, why? I just want to take my kid to the Creative Discovery Museum. Why should I have to pay $15 for 2 hours? It's and I'm
You know what,
exaggerating. It's not that bad, but
Probably shouldn't say this, but I like search for all the places where we're not going to get caught parking if I'm ever going during the day. And so like, you hit up certain spots that, like, oh, at this time, it's not going to be that bad.
Yep.
Because
Right.
I'm like, I hate paying for parking. It's so, I mean, I get it.
It's
a
so
city,
barbaric.
but come on now.
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
One more quick question. I wanted to ask you real quick because you did, brought up, the whole, when you first thought about getting into Derby, did anyone like hit you with the old stigma about roller derby, about how it's, it's like a fake blood sport or anything like that? It's more entertainment than all sort of stuff like that. Like the stigma that was around it from preconceived notions from the 80s and 90s and the movie Whip It and, different things like that, like, what did you say to those people who maybe have said like, well, stuff like that, would you just it's not what you thought it was? Or
I think like a little bit, but not too bad. I think nobody really was like, hey, it's a fake blood sport or whatever. Aside from my husband, my number one supporter is my dad. Like I remember telling my dad like, hey, I think I'm going to try out for roller derby. And he was like, fuck yeah. He was like,
hell yeah.
Like, he was all sorry, I probably shouldn't cuss.
No,
He was
you
can
all
cut.
We don't
You
give a
can
shit. Go ahead.
You are more than welcome.
He was all about it. But I have a brother and sister, but they're from a previous marriage of my mom's. And so my dad kind of raised me like I was a boy in a little bit. Like, I helped him out a lot in the garage and played a lot of video games and things like that, and I was always playing outside. And so I think for him, he loved watching me do aerial, but he was kind of like, yeah, this is the tough side of my daughter coming out. And so he's super proud of that. And, if I go home, and also my father-in-law too, if I go home, they're like rocking Chattanooga roller derby shirts and hats. And, they're like, oh, my daughter plays roller derby. They tell everybody. my biggest concern was being in the school system, right? Like, all of my friends and family, I did have a lot of friends that were like, I don't think you're aggressive enough. They're like, you're aggressive, but not that aggressive. But my professional life is the one that I was the most worried about because, like I said, I'm a school counselor, and it's a tough job, and it's a job where you have to be super caring and, kind of soft and really think about your image, right? Because especially with all the controversy around social emotional health and everything like that, and not to get into politics, but that puts my job in a weird spot sometimes for people where they want me to talk to their kids, but they don't want me to talk too much, or they want me to be kind of a certain image, right? And so I was nervous because I'm like, well, if I play roller derby, like, are they going to be thinking like I'm not very nice, or are they going to judge me and think like, what kind of school counselor wants to go hit her friends, like things like that. And even as I changed schools this year, and one of the first conversations I had with my new principal was like, I need you to know that I play roller derby. And she was like, you didn't think I searched your Facebook? Okay, that's fair. And I was like, I
The
just
hell of
wanted you to
background
know
check,
that.
right?
Right. Well, and to be fair, I am in a very small rural community. I don't live there, but I am a counselor there. And so sometimes reputation is everything, like if you can get, especially being new, the person that I replaced had been there for 12 years and was, super well liked and loved. And so I'm like, I don't want them to see something about me and judge me and then like not accept me, especially when I need to be there for their kids. And thankfully that has not been the case. Like, my coworkers are all about it. They keep joking that they're all going to show up on May 6th with like the little heads on the popsicle sticks. I can't even think what those are called right now, and I'm like, please don't. My head doesn't need to be that big.
No, they definitely should.
Yes, they
Yes,
should.
100% they should.
It wouldn't be very cute for me. I would be very embarrassed. But yeah, slowly some of my kids have been kind of finding out about it, and they're all pretty excited about it. And I think for them, it shows them like, you can be this soft, caring person who is there for them or for anybody, but still have like an outlet for yourself. And just because you're doing something that is innately like violent, even though it's not, but you're hitting people, that it doesn't mean like you have to be that way in general. Like, you can be a different persona and you can be able to have self-discipline within both areas. So it's been pretty good, but I was pretty worried, just telling bosses and families, and I had some families that asked me about it, like as they were seeing it on social media, because they're also searching you, and all of them have been really positive. So that's been great. I was kind of shocked.
Yeah, that's
good.
Maybe
amazing.
they're afraid I could hit them. I don't know, but no.
Yeah, they fear you or they love you, and fear lasts
Yeah.
longer than love.
Well, and it's kind of funny because, again, I worked in elementary for 5 years, and this is my first year in middle school, and middle school is a different ballgame. And I am a different person in middle school. Like, I am steady, like sarcastic, talking crap right back to them if they're going to say it. And, it works out great because, they realize like there's a line, and I'm like showing them boundaries. Like, you can say something, but you don't want to go too far. Like, you can still be funny and you can still like, razz on each other without being too much. And so, it's been fun. And so now, as they've been knowing that I've been playing derby, they're like, especially when I got a busted lip, they were like, what is that from? And I'm like, well, I hit my head on somebody's shoulder the other day. Like,
The usual.
no big deal. They're like, do we
Yeah.
need to look at, it's funny.
So before we wrap it up for the evening, I just want to say again, this is conversation has been amazing.
Yes.
But if
I talk a
there's
lot.
no, but this is about you, and that's what what we enjoy is learning
Yeah.
about the person behind the player. And you have gone like far and above letting people know like who you are and everything. But if there's that one like piece of advice that you could give anybody, what is it?
I'm just gonna stick with the theme of like keep pushing yourself to do tough things, to do hard things. Like don't be afraid to fail and don't be afraid to even second guess yourself. Like it is okay to have a moment of doubt and be like, I need to find this with myself. Cause I feel like that has been my derby journey. Like I have really been like, I don't know, like, can I do this? Am I tough enough? Like, will I ever progress at this? And so I think, I want people to know, like, you can push past that uncomfortable boundary and work on it and grow. And really that's where growth happens anyways. And, it's kind of even been my theme with like my kids is like, yes, this is uncomfortable, or yes, this sucks. Like nobody wants to do schoolwork, but you can get through it to get the things that you want. If you want to be good at something, if you want to achieve something, like you have to be able to push past all the tough things and the obstacles along the way. So that would be mine, is just like keep pushing past and it'll be fine. You'll get there. Maybe not at the time you want to, but you'll eventually get there if you keep trying.
That's awesome. I
That's
love
awesome.
that sentiment. So we have come to the portion of the show where you get to plug all of the things, social media, what's coming up, the good stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm about to run down a list. All right. One, be checking out news stations, radio stations, all through this month. CRD is we're on a lot of things. Definitely a lot of places you'll start seeing us in the next couple of weeks, because we are trying to be out there as much as possible and we want to promote as much as possible. We have a great fan base. Like it's way bigger than I thought it would be. Like even last year when they would say like, oh yeah, we're going to have like 400 fans, 500 fans. I'm like, really? And yeah, it was that many plus. So check out our CRD social media. So Chattanooga Roller Derby on Instagram, Facebook. We're even on TikTok. That's where like we're always promoting anything that's going on. Shout out to Bugapalooza, as that would have been what we were doing on the 15th. But we're also going to be doing some street skating stuff. So we haven't finalized some of those details, but towards the end of the month, we'll do this thing around downtown Chattanooga and around East Ridge, where we're going to do street skating, where we will be all in full gear, skating around the streets, handing out flyers and talking to people and promoting as much as possible. So definitely follow all of our social medias on there. Me and a team of people do all the social medias. So, we try to get that out as much as possible, because, the more people know about us, the more fans we can gain. But yeah. And then you guys, like I love these Movement Monday things that we've been doing. So, shout out to you guys for letting us do it.
Well,
No,
thank you for
thank
being
you
with
guys.
us.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
When I reached out at the Chattanooga, it was just kind of hey, what can we do to help you guys? We would love to, have you guys on the show to let the community know more about you. And it didn't even dawn on me that we would, end up doing like a 6-week series, maybe longer, depending on how many people actually want to tell their story. But this has been absolutely amazing. And, thank you for setting this up. Thank everybody that's been on, and, shout out to everybody that agrees to be on in the future.
Hopefully everybody.
Yeah,
Yes.
honestly.
Yeah.
It's funny though, because so I know one person that gets mentioned every podcast, and as she should, is Cope, or
Yes.
she's the mama of the team. And I would say for me, even, and she has kind of been another person that, like, when I was feeling really down on myself, especially about after getting injured, that she was there. But I asked her to do it. I'm like, come on, Cope, like, they want you on. Like, I know they want. And she was like, that I can be awkward. No, she's not. She's so great. But I think, for some of our players, they get a little shy, and some of us have social anxiety and all of those things, but it has been really funny because, like, I feel like there's certain players that is going to just forever be a mystery. But she might be one, but you guys will meet her at the bout, and maybe they'll make her feel like
we
maybe
will
she wants to get
hunt
on
her down at the
Yes.
bout, just
Yes.
for
we
a
will.
5-minute.
Make it more awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's so funny about that, because I'm like, she's such an easy person to talk to, but she doubts it. And you're like, but I told her, I'm like, I get it. Like, I think what makes people nervous is talking for 40 minutes. So
It doesn't have to be 40 minutes. That's the thing.
Yeah.
These things can go as short or as long as you want.
Yep.
fair
We just like to
Maybe.
listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And interject little barbs here and there, but
Yep.
which is fine,
Yeah.
I'll tell her 5-minute interview. She'll be like,
We'll make it happen.
We
make
can
it
make it
happen.
that's
happen.
funny.
Yeah.
Maybe we should get her on a live interview at the game. I don't know. She's pretty busy. She does a lot of things on bout days.
We'll walk around
there's a
her.
team of us that do, like, because we have to put the whole thing on. It's quite the show.
It is a completely like DIY grassroots kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. I mean, from even when we'll get there at like 8:00, and they'll be taping down the track, and we'll be pulling out chairs and setting up chairs. We'll be moving tables around, and then I'll set up. I usually do the merch setup. I think it's because I worked in retail for a little bit, so I can be a little like, let's showcase it this way. So yeah, just setting up everything. And then, our players are working the ticket booth. Our players are working the merchandise table. Our players are fixing the track as it needs. Our players are hanging up all the, like, banners and things. So it's the only thing we don't work is the concession stand. And that's probably for the better. Otherwise, it'd be big beer pours, beer.
I don't know. Heinz selling some of that chocolate. We might.
That's true. That's true. And she doesn't even like chocolate. It cracks me up. She's like,
What?
I think that's, yeah, she doesn't.
That makes sense. She's around it all day. Yeah.
I know,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm. I think maybe she's sick of it. I don't know. Well, and she's like, I've never really been into chocolate. I'm like, oh, okay.
Wow.
I would be 50 pounds heavier if I worked around chocolate. So,
Right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think that's the most shocking thing about these interviews so far.
yeah. Not liking chocolate. I know. Yeah.
Yeah, like
She's.
It's a revelation.
I'm so glad that you got to see her say, like, and that she was herself, but she was like, we'll eat their souls, because she does say stuff like that. And it, for like new players, can be like jarring. And you're like, she's just being competitive, fun, like, don't take it seriously. But yeah, sometimes for some of the newbies, there's a certain personalities, mine, hers, a couple other people, that can be like a lot to take in at first. So
Yeah.
those are good ones.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's just the ones we like.
the big ones.
The big personalities.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because that's what a lot of people don't realize, is it's the big personalities that fans gravitate towards.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're like, it sounds cliche, but they're like, that person's bigger than life.
Yeah.
Because you project it to be that.
Yeah, I think Chaos is that way on our team. Her track persona and just like, there's a reason why she gets voted MVP a lot of time, or favorite player. She's a force to be reckoned with, and she is a big personality out there, and people know her name, and then she's so funny with like even little things she does to kind of even push it, where like if you spell chaos, so it's KAOS, but if you put any of it in lower caps, she'll like come back and be like all upper caps. She's like, it's all in upper caps, and you're like, okay. So it's funny, but
I'm
yeah,
definitely bringing a
definitely.
sign. I'm bringing a sign with all of it lowercase.
She gonna headbutt the shit out of you, bro.
She'll come over with a marker.
Oh, that'd be great. Or just take it from him and rip it
take
off.
Yeah, just take it from him and rip it off. Yeah, we'll get that on camera.
She'll like, knock it or elbow it,
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. But yeah, there is
Roger,
a lot of big personalities. So
yeah,
I think that's my favorite
had a
part.
concussion in a while, so it'll be all right.
Oh yeah, hey, listen, that's a pretty big prize that you can get. We'll make that. We'll auction off concussions. How about? You think people will go for it?
Yes, people would go for it.
There are people that would.
There are people that would do it. Yes,
Yep.
And that would be so weird.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Weirder things have happened in this world. I'm just saying.
But to each their own.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. The sock thing. Wasn't there a thing about people like putting like farts in jars or something like that?
That still actually happens. What's the sock
That's
thing?
weird.
Yeah, what's the sock thing?
Like women's stinky socks. Like after they work out and stuff.
I don't like feet to begin with, so nope.
Yeah,
good.
yes, people. So
I don't even like my own feet. Like,
ironically enough, my wife also was a pro wrestler, and she would get messages. What?
I thought you were going a different route to start.
I thought you were going to say she started selling her socks.
Yeah, I thought you were saying, well, yeah, on the side, Jess decides to sell socks. So
no, so it'll come full circle if you shut the hell up and listen, Roger.
Me too. I interrupted too. I'm sorry.
So my wife she's a former pro wrestler as well. She quit wrestling when we had our first child, but when she was wrestling, she used to get messages from fans all the time, like, I'll give you $300 for your ring worn socks, or I'll pay you $600 to stand on my face.
Yeah, crush is a big thing now.
I'm like, are you kidding? And she was
Did she do it?
No. She was like,
what?
Yeah. I was like,
that's a paid vacation right there.
Yeah, I said, I will sell them my socks. Like, you can take my socks and send to them and say that they were yours for $300.
Yeah,
I have no shame.
That's so funny. I guess maybe I wouldn't, but I don't know, man. $300 for just like, I don't know if I would do it. I don't know.
Yeah. It's just
maybe
it's crazy what people like.
People are weird.
The fetishes that people have.
We don't kink shame. We don't kink shame.
Yeah,
we don't kink shame. I'm just saying.
I don't.
Some of them are weird.
I don't kink shame either, but I mean, damn. I mean, if someone's making $100,000 a year, or $100,000 a year selling feet pics, I mean,
respect the hustle.
There's a market for it. I mean, yeah, I respect the hustle.
I could never. My feet are so jacked up from aerial because
you're
barefoot
money
in
that
it.
way.
Like
you'd make more money that way.
Maybe between the calluses from aerial and the calluses from skates, I don't even go get a pedicure because I know that they'll be judging me about my feet. So,
if somebody asked me like for feet pics, I would go get a pedicure and everything. Like I'm going all in.
I can't do it. I have a messed up toe from track and rugby, so it ain't happening.
It ain't that bad.
I don't care.
No, it's
sit there on your phone. And
he said he would buy a pic.
No, I'm saying I'd get a pedicure. That's different.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the pedicures aren't bad. It's just, and for me, I'm like, don't scrub those calluses off. I need them or else it's going to hurt again. Like, that used to be the worst thing about aerial when I'd be performing, especially because sometimes I would be hired to do like ambient work, which is like low level moves for like 2 hours. And so I'm like, I need my feet to be hella strong. Otherwise, like, I can't be getting foot cramps or like my feet hurting. Like, it's gonna be a long night. So I was like, I'm not getting these calluses screwed off. It's so gross. This is so gross, but it's fine.
So what y'all talk about on Movement Monday? Oh, feet pics.
Feet pics. Hey, it's better than poop on the track, okay?
There you go. All right.
I
There
don't
you
know
go.
about that. I don't know about that.
That was such a weird long tangent. I was correct. I feel like I was on the treadmill at that time, and I feel like the people right next to me just kept being like, I'm like,
Doing the
don't.
side eye.
I'm like, don't look at me right now. It's fine. It's fine.
No,
You
it's
should
like
just
the
said
list.
poop on the track. That's all you should have said out loud.
Yeah.
Poop on the track.
Yeah.
And
Duh.
nobody would look at you. Nobody would look at you after that time.
You should look at the Movement Radio podcast on YouTube. Yeah, that's what I should probably done.
Yes,
Instead, I just
yes.
was like, don't look
Thank
at me.
you.
Yes.
Thank you for the
That's
plug.
funny.
We appreciate it.
And then they find out we
Alright.
talk about poop all day.
Yeah, you
Poop and feet.
And
You know, not going moving forward from there now.
All right, so
Not-
we went way off track.
this is
So-
a high quality, high class podcast.
Highbrow entertainment,
Yep.
ladies and gentlemen.
The fanciest.
Yes.
No, honestly, thank you so much for joining us tonight. This, I've said it a couple of times, but this has been great. So
Thank you
if-
for having me.
yeah, if you want to stick around for just a minute, let us pay some bills, and then
We
we'll
gotta go
let you
take feet pics in a
go.
second. So
Yeah.
Sell our socks on eBay and be
Yeah.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Thanks.
Talon, you gonna pay them bills?
Let's pay them bills, man. Obviously, again, Thrash, thank you so much for being here. You got me. I can't even think. I can't even
he's
talk
thinking about feet pics.
Shut up.
The money hustle afterwards.
The struggle's real, y'all. It's the economy. But no, thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. We definitely do appreciate Thrash being here with us. Chip, Raj, anything you guys want to say before we bounce out of here tonight?
As always, check out movementradio.us. That is your one-stop shop for all things Movement Radio.
What you
And
guys
as
say, Raj?
As always, go to our YouTube, hit the subscribe, hit the like, obviously share with everybody, leave a comment below. Tell us about your favorite part about this video. Do not request feet pics, please. Don't
No,
do that.
please don't. Please don't.
Only
can I-
request their feet pics.
don't even do that.
So now this is the part of the show where we talk about our wonderful sponsors.
Yeah.
Shout out to the OG gearanime.com, gearanime.com/movement radio. Promo code Move Radio at checkout. You get free shipping here in the United States. Also audibletrial.com/movement radio. Elementor, GetResponse, Entertainment Earth, Just Cash Clothing, W.GG, Zoo Lily, and Canva. Thank you guys so much for the love and support you guys have been giving us. Shout out to all of our friends that's been down with us since day one. You know who you are. Again, Thrash, thank you for being here tonight. Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. And we'll catch you next time. Let's hit them with the outro.
Please do not leave without leaving a like, comment, share, and subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform and right here on YouTube.
Make sure you check out all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Check out the YouTube channel here. Subscribe. Click that bell to get notified of our latest videos. Streamlabs.com/movement radio/merch. Go copy some merch. And once again, movementradio.us, your one-stop shop for all things Movement Radio.
I am Chip Hazard,
I'm Talon Williams.
I'm Roger Sierra.
and this is Movement Radio.
God's plan.
Feet pics.
Ah, damn, you beat me
God.
to it. Damn it, you beat me to it.